The other side of this is ads, and that's how I got started with my first tutoring business. It was simply finding a winning ad. And here, again, the challenge people have is, well, it's mainly just about the mindset of testing stuff. But to make this work, you have to understand copywriting at a basic level, right? So what is copywriting? Well, basically it's the skill of closing, which is selling, in writing. So like not speaking to someone one-to-one, but in text. And that doesn't have to mean you're selling something directly in an ad and getting them to buy directly. You can do that for some types of offer. It's a strategy that can work. But what you're doing is you're just selling them why they should join your group or leave their email address to get your free resource or whatever it might be. Now, to give you a very, very, very quick overview of the basic strategy here, like the way you have to write these ads, you need to write them as if you're talking to your ideal client. So you need to have in your mind a picture of exactly who is this person. So not only what do they want, not only what is their current problem they're looking to solve, but also are they, for example, male or female? Are they married or single? Do they have kids? Where do they live? Where do they go to school? And so you can actually visualize them and talk to them so that you show that you understand their hopes, their fears, their dreams, their worries, their anxieties, etc. And show that you understand their problem by describing it to them in a way that resonates. Because if you can do that, they will assume that you can solve their problem better. If you can describe their problem better than they can describe it even, then they will assume that you can solve it. Now, when you're writing an ad or making a video, there's a structure that you can follow here. So the best ads these days have got a video, they've also got text underneath most of the time. And so you can follow this structure. You need a hook at the start, which is like an attractive thing to get their attention. Now, you can use a kind of gimmick, like people just dress up in random stuff or do crazy things, or you can simply lead with a powerful statement of the ideal client's problem. Like my winning ad for my tutoring business just said, if you're watching this, your child is probably struggling to improve their GCSE English grade, okay? And that was it, right? So start with a problem. Then you agitate that problem a little bit. You talk about some of the negative consequences of that problem, how it's going to affect them emotionally. What you can then do is go back to the goal, and you can say, well, but you're probably wanting to achieve this result. You're probably wanting to reach that grade 9, which is my ad, so that you can go to a better university and so that employers recognize it for the rest of their lives, your life, because you're in the top 5% of students, so that opportunities open for you. So you give them the benefit, you get them attracted to the thing they want to achieve. And then you say a tiny bit about why you can help them, a little bit about your background, your expertise. You don't give them a whole biography. You just say like, well, I've been doing X for Y number of years and I've helped this many people. That's why I want to help you too. And the last bit then is the call to action, which is, well, what are you supposed to do about it? Okay, so it could be, well, if you want to learn about the 3-step method I've developed, then just click below to get the free guide. Learn the 3 steps from me for free, right? That was my winning ad for my original business. It was simply a what we call a lead magnet, which is where you just tell them, we'll leave your contact details and we'll send you this free resource, free information that will help you solve your problem. And out of those people, a percentage are always then going to be further. And this brings me to the last thing, which is going from leads to actual client. And a lot of people get stuck with this because they think, well, oh my God, I got like these 10 people, but then none of them answered the phone and they don't want to speak to me. What am I going to do? Okay, so after spending like 50,000 on ads and getting about 6,000 leads from just this one ad alone, I realized that no matter what I did, only about 5% of people were ever going to buy for 5%. So that means if you get 20 leads from your ads, 1 is probably going to buy. We're talking like high ticket offers, like 1,000. If you're selling something, which you should be for a higher ticket value. So 1 out of 20 is going to buy from, okay? And tactics you can play with, but it's not really going to change that much in most industries. Now, the important thing there is that you do have the skill of closing sale, okay? But once you get it, that's probably roughly the number you're going to reach. And So you shouldn't leap to conclusions that something is not working. Like, one of the things I see that drives me crazy is I see business owners saying like, oh, I ran these ads, the latest rage is like story ads. And I was seeing people in the education sector saying, well, I'm running story ads, I tried it out, yeah, we got loads of leads, they're really poor quality, none of them want to speak to. Like, what do you expect? They just opted in for a free resource. Of course they don't want to, of course they're poor quality. We don't even need them to be good quality, okay? We just need 5% of them to be good quality. That's how all marketing works, always. The majority of people will not do what you want them to do. If you look at the numbers, actually then leave their contact details, you'll be very lucky if more than 1.5 or 2% of people that see the ad click on. So you're talking tiny percentages, and that's always how it is, okay? And you can't make a judgment based on a handful of people. You've got to look at the bigger picture. Okay, so that brings me to the last thing of all then, which is actually like, how do we close the sale? So once we've got this lead, we've phoned them up, we've spoken to them, what are we going to do to actually make them buy? And the problem most people have here is just the mindset, and they think like, well, it's all about what I sell, right? It's like, well, here's the thing that I have, the course, the program that I have, and here's all of the bells and whistles it's got, the features, and so that's why you should buy it. It doesn't really work when you're selling a coaching or education or information product. It doesn't work at all. The reason is people don't really care. What they care about is the benefit, the outcome it's going to get them. So like, if you're buying a plane ticket, you don't talk about the quality of the paper the ticket is on. That would be insane, right? The destination they're going to. So the best way to actually sell this kind of program is to talk nearly entirely about the person, okay? The prospect, not the product. So how do we do that? Well, we have to find out their needs, and we have to make the whole conversation about their needs. And when you're doing this, you've actually got to think that you're only trying to help them. And if the best way to help them is to sell them something, you will, but if it's not, you won't. And so that way you don't come across as pushy, slimy, whatever. It also just protects your sanity. You don't get rejected because you will reject them if you don't think it's a good fit. So what I like to do, to give you a sort of overview of this call, how I run the closing call in a nutshell these days, is that I start out by just asking them really open questions, like, what are you looking for? Why do you want to get in this call? What do you know about me already or my program? Tell me about your current situation. And I try to understand in my mind two things, like where they are now, where they want to be, so that I can position myself as a bridge. And what I need to understand is the emotional pain behind it, not the surface level, not I want more leads in my business, not my grades are too low, but why do you even care? Like, emotionally, what are you feeling about it? People will buy to solve an emotional problem. Now, once I've established that, right, and I've agitated it and sort of poked at it a little bit and got them to appreciate the gravity of the situation, what I would then do is I would just very hesitantly, like hypothetically, try and find out what they want to do. So I would ask questions like, well, just imagine that you actually found a solution. How soon would you maybe want to start doing this? Because I don't want to go to the end and then they'll say, well, okay, cool, I want to do your program in 6 months' time. I want to waste this conversation. What was the point of all of that?